Hey guys, I'm going to talk to you about Game of Thrones Season 6 as a whole. Spoilers if you haven't watched Game of Thrones Season 6, if you haven't finished it. I'm going to touch on a lot of big moments throughout the season. What I really want to talk about, though, is how this season, the first season that wasn't tethered directly to a George R.R. Martin Song of Ice and Fire book, felt, and how it felt different from the seasons that came before it, especially in when it came to payoffs, when it came to happy moments, when it came to good guys winning, when it came to a lot of fast movement. And I think we're so used to this show, and one of the things that kind of drew a lot of people to this show, I know it's what drew me to the books and the show itself, is sort of the audience content factor, the fact that every time you think the good guys are about to pull ahead, another bad guy comes out of the woodwork and squashes them down. Every time you think the Starks are going to reunite, they just miss each other. There's a lot of frustrating elements to this show. Just when you think Oberyn's going to help Tyrion win the trial by combat, he gets his head crushed in. Just when you think Robb Stark is going to avenge his father's death, the Red Wedding happens. That's sort of been the MO of the show, the bread and butter of the show. And we've actually become so used to it now that it was probably time to change. Also, we're headed toward the end, and if we're going to go by sort of fantasy storytelling rules, and if we're going to lead to sort of an ending that is going to be kind of happy-ish once the dust settles, things are going to have to start going our hero's way, specifically this season for the Starks. The reuniting of Jon and Sansa, the retaking of Winterfell, the killing of Walder Frey and Ramsay Bolton by Stark hands. So I think there was a lot of this season that kind of felt un-Game of Thrones-like, given what we'd seen for the first 5 seasons. A lot of tragedy, a lot of agony, a lot of misery, a lot of like misconnections, a lot of so close but not far enough. And this season, it really, away from the books, away from, I don't know what George R.R. Martin is going to actually put in his Winds of Winter book, may be more of the same. But when Weiss and Benioff took over, they really started collapsing the story a little bit, bringing everything more centered, and giving our heroes the big wins. And I think there's an element there that we want to kind of shun that a little bit. We don't feel like maybe we deserve it because this isn't the show. The show is supposed to make us feel awful. It's not supposed to make us feel good. But I like that about this season. I like that Jon could come back to life, that we could get Cold Hands. The Hound could come back. We got so many give-backs. We got so many people coming back to life or reuniting that it felt odd, but I learned to embrace it, and I really enjoyed it. What did you guys think? You can read my written review of Game of Thrones Season 6, which I gave an 8.6. You can read that on IGN.com. And stay tuned to IGN for all Game of Thrones news.